Hello and welcome once again to Electric Avenue's YouTube updates. Why am I so animated today, you say? Was it because I was just unloading a bunch of boxes full of records and stuff? Possibly. Also, I'm still a little bit on a high last night because I finally got out to see this one last time. Stop making sense. Talking Heads, the film aired yesterday in IMAX one more time, and I was like, I gotta go see this. So I did that, and the soundtrack, the double album that we ran out of last year, was selling for crazy amounts, like over $100 online. Still got a few of these. One of the best albums of 1984, one of the best concert albums ever. One of the best concert films ever. I'm on a sort of David Byrne high. I don't know how that guy does it. He has so much energy. Crazy. I'm going to move my camera there a little bit. Crazy. So I'm still on a high from that. All right. So much stuff to get to today, guys. I have new releases. I have Rocktober. I have some stuff about Black Friday Record Store Day, Black Friday. Just got a couple of these guys back in: Michael Jackson, Funkos, Thriller, and Billie Jean. Those are exciting. Also, those of you who've watched this channel know that I discussed at length how crazy the movie Saltburn was, and the soundtrack is out, and now we've got Oliver too. So if you're a Saltburn fan, he's kind of funny with his little antlers there. Funny or sinister, I'm not really sure. Anyway, all right, so new releases. The first thing this week, I usually start with box set kind of stuff, so I'll start with this one first. Joni Mitchell, and this is her Volume 4 archives. This is from the Hejira period, which is, I think, one of her best period of work. And this says newly unearthed demos and studio outtakes selections from the Rolling Thunder Review 1976 and 79 tour recordings. Contributions from Charles Mingus, Herbie Hancock, Jaco Pastorius, Wayne Shorter, and others. 8-page booklet includes previously unpublished photos and Cameron Crowe in conversation with Joni Mitchell. There's a lot of stuff in here. These are really cool because they're sort of like, we get the sets that have reissues of the actual albums themselves. And then these are the things that are like the demos and the things that are sort of her method of her art. And they're fabulous stuff. They usually take out a little bit of it and release it on like a one record vinyl highlights for Record Store Day. They did that last year with that previous period where she was doing like Court and Spark. That was an incredible record. If you didn't hear that, I don't know if they're still available or not, but the box set is, and then there's the CD version of it. So really nice. I'm glad that they're doing that period finally because it's one of her best, and it's sort of her real immersion in jazz, obviously with people like Mingus on there. So Herbie Hancock. The other big box set new release this week, Jimi Hendrix, and this is Electric Lady Studios Vision, Hendrix Vision. This is the 5 LP and a Blu-ray set. I think the Joni, I'm trying to remember what the pricing on this is. The Joni's about $100 on vinyl and about $75 on CD. The Hendrix is, I think, like, I don't want to say because I could be wrong. I think it's a little over 100, maybe like 120, 130, something like that. And then the CD is around 60. But anyway, a very nice package here. These are recordings that he was doing right before he died, and 38 previously unreleased recordings made at Electric Lady Studios in 1970. Now, some of these might have been bootlegged or, some kind of other release at some point, but these are official 5.1 surround sound mixes of the entire First Rays of the New Rising Sun album, plus 3 bonus tracks. Also includes a critically acclaimed documentary, Electric Lady Studios Jimi Hendrix Vision, pressed on audiophile grade vinyl at QRP, 48-page booklet with rare photos. So that's also a very nice set you may want to add to your collection. And the CDs, if you don't want to splurge that much, this is a nice box set for CDs as well. Those are not necessarily well-known songs because they're works in progress. So it's interesting that those are out. The other thing that's kind of, I wouldn't call it a box set, but it's sort of it's kind of a deluxe edition. But it's for those who are into like ambient music and stuff like that, Aphex Twin with the sort of unsettling album Select Ambient Works Volume 2. So I think this has one bonus track on it that wasn't on the original. It's kind of cool because it has this like shinier font on it. And this is I think it's a 4 LP set, 27 tracks with a poster. It looks like they sort of just shoved the records inside one big cover, though. I don't really like it when they do that, but I suppose double gatefold gets a little tricky. They did that with the Madonna greatest hits, and that was they were kind of shoved in there too. So anyway, but this looks very cool. And then on CD, there's a version that comes with a little sort of hardback book. But if you're into things like Brian Eno, his more ambient stuff like Music for Airports or Apollo or the ambient albums, that might be something up your alley. They are a little unsettling in a way. Like nothing is they're ambient and they're kind of background, but they're also somewhat disturbing in a way, quietly disturbing. I don't know if that was intentional that they released that during Halloween. Those recordings were only available, I think, before on maybe Plain Recordings, one of those offshoot labels that really didn't have very good mastering of them. So hopefully these sound better because these are like officially released like by whatever they're sanctioned by the label, I should say. Okay, new albums this week. Very excited about this. I also had to spin this once already. The Smile and their new album Cutouts. This is of course Tom York and Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead. This is on white vinyl. This is the indie store version. They don't give you any of the song titles on the outside, but this album has 10 tracks. It's sort of a piece with the other album that they released this year, Wall of Eyes, which came out back in January. So 2 records in a year, 18 songs altogether. They were all recorded around the same time, apparently. So if you think like Radiohead, Kid A, Amnesiac, it's that kind of a vibe. But I don't know. I think this one it's cool because they sort of took the more atmospheric kind of, well, they're all atmospheric, but the more sort of abstract songs ended up on Wall of Eyes. And this one is a little bit more accessible. It's still pretty calm and quiet. There are a few moments that get a little more agitated with the rhythms, especially the rhythms are a little more amped up on this. And the guitar is a little bit more present, except on, there was that one track, I can't remember the name on the last one, where things just explode. There's nothing that's that heavy on this, but this is a great album, and I think it's a nice companion to the other ones. So probably end up on one of my records of the year, actually. So that and Wall of Eyes are both contenders for that. They're both great albums. Okay, so some other things. Leon Bridges, his new album Leon, and people have been waiting for this for a while. Obviously it's on Columbia because they have that actually on the cover. This looks like 13 tracks. I believe this is also the indie exclusive. It doesn't have anything on the sticker, but whatever version. We've been trying to really get mostly the indie store versions on as much as possible. New Jason Isbell and the 400 unit Live from the Ryman Volume 2. This is the indie exclusive on translucent yellow and red. Yeah, we had Volume 1 maybe 5 years ago. I don't know if it was even that long. Features mostly stuff recorded in 2023, but there's some from 2019 and one from 2017, a Room at the Top. So Jason is awesome. If you're into Jason, You gotta have it, right? So the Neil Young reissue campaign goes on, and this week we're getting sort of a series of Neil records from, I guess, late 80s and the early 90s. These are a lot of live records, and so we get the famous Arc, which is probably not his most popular, but then Weld. So you got Arc and Weld. Both of those are coming out on vinyl. Also, a very sort of popular album of his, Freedom, which I think is a little more acoustic based. So that is also, this one has, but this one does have Rockin' in the Free World also, and Ragged Glory with Crazy Horse, and that sort of a bigger album. Ragged Glory and Weld are more in the $50 range. The others are a little bit less because they're not quite so big, not quite so long. All right, let's see. Continuing here. Oh, sorry guys. Like, I have stuff all over the place. You're gonna have to come buy some of this stuff. Seriously, it was like I sort of had to beg the distributors and say, like, I know it's a lot of stuff, but can you send it? Because I know that people want this. And when they don't come buy it, it's like, okay, we wait for like a holiday or something or whatever. Anyway, Coldplay, their new record. This is called Moon Music. This is like supposedly made all eco-friendly. The limited first edition pressing includes lyric booklet and individually numbered sleeve, translucent pink eco record, injection molded LP from 9 recycled plastic bottles. So now they're making records out of plastic, which is kind of interesting. Some people are like, oh, I don't know if I like eco records. I haven't been able to really hear to tell a difference yet. This other one, which is the same Coldplay album, this is the more limited one for us. This is what's called the Zoetrope edition. These are the ones that when you put a light really close to it and it spins, it like creates a pattern. And this one is like a pattern of like moons kind of spinning around with this rainbow. It's supposed to be really cool. This is pressed with recycled plastic core, is what it says. So there's a little bit, the cover is a little bit more sort of like blank because of the white, but it's also this cool record. And I think it's about the same price. It's actually $1 less. So do something good for the planet. Buy a Coldplay record. Motley Crue, their new EP. This is called, well, it's canceled. Limited edition red and black splatter vinyl. It's the Crue. I always tell the story. This will date me, but one of the first things I remember selling when I started selling records, this is 37 years ago, 38, no, 37, 36. Whenever Dr. Feelgood came out, that was one of the first records I actually was working registers selling to people. That's how long I've been doing this, y'all. That's a long time for like any kind of job, much less retail, much less music retail. And I've never seen so much mint green in my life. It was like mint green stretched completely around the building. It was insane. So they're a kinder, gentler, older Motley Crue now, I suppose. But excited about this film too. Joker Folie à Deux. This is the Lady Gaga version, the new movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Sort of it is the sequel to the Joker movie. This is the translucent red vinyl edition. This has vocal contributions from both of them and other people too. I think that the movie has been sort of kind of like called sort of a musical. And Nick Cave actually is on this record too. Says performed by Joaquin, Lady Gaga, and Nick Cave. So I'm kind of like intrigued. I don't know if it's just like a song that he does or what. I don't think he's in the movie. Maybe. Maybe he's got a cameo. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know where he is on this actually because his little symbol doesn't seem to match. Am I missing a club here? I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to look at that later. But yeah, the new Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. Her new album, Harlequin, started streaming like a week ago, maybe last weekend. And it will be coming out at some point on vinyl soon. Watch this space. It will be very soon, most likely. I'm not saying in the next day or two at all, but it's sort of a tie-in to this film. It's more like the stuff that she did with Tony Bennett. So a lot of standards, but things that sort of revolve around the Harlequin character. So that's kind of cool. I did listen to that. It was pretty good. Her voice, vocally, she's like stunning. So anybody who goes back and you listen to songs like, I mean, I love them, but like Poker Face and Just Dance. And, I mean, they should use, they probably have Poker Face in the Joker film. But you would go like, I don't know. I mean, she's a great performer, but does she have the voice? And then, you hear like when she kind of increased her vocal ability or production through like Bad Romance and whatever. Now, I mean, she's really quite a formidable singer. So awesome. Godspeed You Black Emperor, their new record. I don't know what the title was. It was something like no title as of date, and then it said the release date, and then there was some kind of number about the I don't know, it was a number, maybe it was in reference to the people who died in the Israel-Palestine conflict or something. Anyway, it's usually all of Godspeed's stuff is instrumental, so I'm assuming that this is as well. But it's like chamber rock sort of type stuff. That's maybe a reductive sort of description, but that's kind of what it is. Okay, I'm really excited about this guy too, and I do need to still hear this album. Jordy Griep, and he is the lead singer of the band Black Midi, who recently broke up. And Jordy just released the new single from this. I believe it was The New Sound. Anyway, so this is a solo record from him. The video and the song are awesome, and I think he kind of takes the Black Midi aesthetic and sort of makes it a little more approachable. And there's a yellow edition too, and supposedly the vinyl sort of mimic the color of the cover. So green vinyl, yellow vinyl. But Jordy Griep, it's better for me to hold it up so you can see how to spell it. But yes, it even says on here Jordy Griep, Black Midi in parentheses. So they're definitely trying to use that to springboard his solo career. Okay, let's see here. Caribou, Honey. This is the new Caribou album. It's been a little while for that. Again, instrumental music, usually, mainly. I don't know if there are vocal contributions on this or not, but anyway. Samples Renee and Angela, for those of you who know who that is. If you're old enough to know who that is, like moi. Phineas. If you know Billie Eilish, you know Phineas. He does most of her backing tracks. It's their brother. And this is his new record, For Crying Out Loud, on green bio vinyl. See, bio vinyl's really becoming a thing. I mean, if it sort of produces the same sound or a similar sound and it's doing good things for the environment, I don't really see a problem with it. I mean, and if it can keep costs down too, that's another thing. These Sacred Souls, this is a Daptone release. I can't remember if these are the guys that were part of Sharon Jones or if something different, but this is a limited magenta color vinyl, the follow-up to their critically acclaimed debut is a masterclass in style and soul. The Sacred Souls, featuring Josh Lane on vocals, Alex Garcia, and Sal Samano. Daptone, amazing soul records. They're such a great label. Okay, we got a couple of tone poets this week. Booker Little 4 and Max Roach. Not one that you see every day. This is recorded in 1959. And then Donald Byrd's Kofi. This is not one you see very often either. This album, I don't think this one's ever been on vinyl to my knowledge. It looked like this album was recorded like around 1970, and then it was not released or shelved for some reason, and had come out as some sort of a reissue campaign in the early 90s, and now it's finally on vinyl. So Booker Little with Max Roach and Donald Byrd, this week's two tone poets. Donald Byrd features William Campbell, Duke Pearson, Ron Carter, Airto. I don't know why Ron Carter is listed. He's listed twice. Yeah. Anyway. Ugh, so many records. Now I'm sort of like, where do I put them? Also, jazz this week. Teddy Edwards and Howard McGee. And this is a Kraft Contemporary Recordings, Acoustic Sounds reissue called Together Again. I think Together was just reissued recently. Some of the same people, lacquers cut from the original master tapes by Bernie Grunman, pressed at QRP. Kraft does amazing work. And one more jazz record this week, reissue. Chet Baker, Blood, Chet, and Tears, play on the band name Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This was manufactured at Third Man, 180 gram. This is Chet around 1970. And at this point, he was trying to like reach out a little bit more to modern audiences. So he was doing things like Spinning Wheel, Vehicle, The Letter, and When I Die, Come Saturday Morning, Evil Ways, You Made Me So Very Happy, and Sugar Sugar. So interesting record from Chet, and not one that you see very often. Not a period that a lot of people really know about. He had so many problems with substance abuse as his life sort of lingered. Foreigner got a greatest hits record. We're going into some reissues here. Turning Back the Time. This is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame collection, 2 LP set. It's like a greatest hits album. Features I Want to Know What Love Is, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Urgent, and the new song Turning Back the Time, which I think was sort of an unreleased song from like 1980 something or 90. It says 2024, but yeah, it's an older song that's been resurrected. Talk Talk, It's My Life, and this is a half-speed master edition. I love the cover art of this album. Always love the cover art, and the album is great. Dum Dum Girl, I love Such a Shame, and Renee. Those are two incredible songs. And then of course It's My Life. Side 2 is probably a little bit lesser than side 1, but it's a great album. Half Speed Mastered, you know, it's funny they can do those things at Abbey Road, and then you think like, and how many times has that been reissued? I think it was color vinyl a couple of years ago. I'm like, there's so many records that we're still waiting on. But Sisters of Mercy, Slight Case of Overbombing, and this is on purple vinyl, transparent. Great hits collection for them. Features Under the Gun, Temple of Love, Vision Thing, Detonation Boulevard, Dr. Jeep, More, Lucretia My Reflection, Dominion, Mother Russia, This Corrosion, No Time to Cry, Walk Away, and Body and Soul. So this was out on CD for years, and I think it's been out on vinyl maybe once or twice, but it's nice having it on a color vinyl option. Mastodon and Crack the Sky. This is the 15th anniversary edition of this album. It has the original album remastered and the score, instrumental Crack the Sky, on the second record. Limited edition pressed on sky blue vinyl, so it's a 2 LP edition. And I think there's also a deluxe CD edition that has some kind of Blu-ray audio or something attached to it. Animal Collective and the album Sung Tongs, and this is the 20th anniversary on Canary Yellow and Red, Ruby Red. Earlier Animal Collective, back when they were pretty avant-garde in their sort of own way. They hadn't had Merriweather Post Pavilion yet, so they hadn't really like broken through that indie wall and kind of gone a little more mainstream. This is still a little more underground for them, but people love this record. A lot of times when you talk about Animal Collective to like an Animal Collective fan, this is their like era that they love the most. So AFI, All Hallows Eve EP. It's a little smaller. This is a 10-inch. Okay, I love the Halloween art. I always love that, and it's cool how it's very vibrant. The colors, they really brought them out on this 25th anniversary edition of the Cult Classic EP, limited spectral pink vinyl with a 10 by 20 inch black light coffin shaped poster. That's so Halloween. Fall Children, Halloween, The Boy Who Destroyed the World, and Total Immortal. So it's 4 tracks. It's not cheap, but it's really cool. So if you're an AFI fan, you might want to grab that. The Melvins and Stoner Witch. This is one of their best kind of earlier albums. Limited edition of 1,500 individually numbered copies on orange colored vinyl. This is a Music on Vinyl reissue. Way cool. Another Music on Vinyl reissue. Dig with the album Dig. I never thought I'd see this on vinyl again. 1993 debut album featuring Believe and I'll Stay High. Produced by Dave Jardin and Dig. So don't see that every day. Same with, if you're into like shoegaze, this one, great band, and this is probably their best album, I think. Cranes with Loved. If you haven't heard the Cranes and you like shoegaze, like Lush and My Bloody Valentine and Slow Dive, you might want to listen to this, because it's sort of like Swerve Driver, The Veldt, all those kind of bands. So one of the best albums ever made. XTC, Skylarking, and this is the brand new pressing of the Steven Wilson mix of this. This was done 200 gram, the stereo mixes released on vinyl for the first time. This, I believe, does feature the full track listing version. You know, they released this record once, and it did all right, and then they released Dear God, which was the B-side of one of their singles, and that song took off, and it wasn't on the album, so then they took off one song and put Dear God back on it, and now I think both of the songs are on here. I think it was maybe The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul or Dying, I'm not sure which, but it was one of those also near the end. So Dear God is on there, and the Steven Wilson mix, the regular one was out of stock actually, so good timing to get the new one. Another 80s album I love, Julian Cope, and this is his album Saint Julian, and this does feature his big hit World Shut Your Mouth. Great song. Guy from Teardrop Explodes, features Trampoline and Eve's Volcano, also great songs. We've had a couple of his other ones come out recently too. Fried, and the World Shut Your Mouth was his the first solo release, so you can get those. And I believe My Nation Underground is also out or coming out. Steely Dan, it's kind of an interesting thing. Live on Air 1996. So I'm not sure how legit this is, but it's still pretty cool that they're focusing on 96. Steely Dan, this was for some kind of radio broadcast. Features Do It Again, Jack of Speed, Hey 19, Ricky Don't Lose That Number, Midnight Cruiser, Black Cow, My Waterloo, and My Old School. So, a couple of Christmas things already sneaking in here, guys. Sarah McLachlan's Winter Song. I don't know if I've ever seen it on vinyl before, but so here we get Sarah's big Christmas record. Kind of sort of at the end of her Imperial phase, what I call her Imperial phase, when she sold a lot of records, and it did very well on CD. But now you can get the vinyl. Same thing with this is going way back actually. Harry Connick Jr. When My Heart Finds Christmas. This album sold in bucket loads on CD, and I don't know. The guy's been kind of quiet now for a little while, I think, but he was doing a lot of acting. But this is actually great if you're into like Sinatra. This was a great Christmas album. Sleigh Ride, When My Heart Finds Christmas, Must Have Been Old Santa Claus. I feel like when this came out, it got played a lot. Like the jobs that I worked over the years, I've heard this album quite a bit. This says 2007, but I think that's just when it was licensed. I think this album's from like early 90s maybe, or even late 80s. But Harry Connick Jr. And then another Christmas record, Toby Keith. So R.I.P. his classic 1995 holiday album, the first time on vinyl, pressed on translucent green, 13 songs, includes the bonus track, Old Toy Trains. I'm not going to get into his politics and the whole we're going to put a boot in your ass stuff, but Christmas records. And also Toby Keith, see, we're not averse to carrying this stuff. 13 number ones. This is a big hits collection from Toby. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, the Angry Americans on here. And American Soldier. Beer for My Horses, duet with Willie. Should Have Been a Cowboy. I Love This Bar. Undeniable hits. So, okay. A couple of now playing from Rhino. This week we get T-Rex on red transparent vinyl. And this features Ride a White Swan, Bang a Gong, Get It On, Hot Love, Jeepster, Mambo Sun, Cosmic Dancer. Great collection of the Warner era. There's a lot of songs that T-Rex made popular that seem to be impossible to find. Things like Children of the Revolution. And then you won't find things like Slider on here because they were on Electric Warrior, which was a different record label. And man, T-Rex's labels and contracts, they're really like sticklers about sticking to that, whatever that label is. So Jefferson Starship and Starship, this is hits of like late 70s into the early 80s. Miracles, With Your Love, Jane, Runaway, We Built This City, Find Your Way Back, Sarah, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, It's Not Enough. These are like $20. It's on cobalt transparent vinyl. And this one looks great to me. This is Spooky Rock, ghoulish glow-in-the-dark cover artwork, and jack-o'-lantern orange vinyl. I love this artwork. It's sort of almost Nightmare Before Christmas inspired, which could be fun to play at a Halloween party. Featuring, that is a good track listing too, y'all. Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads, Devil Inside by INXS, Pet Cemetery by the Ramones, Marquee Moon by Television, interesting choice. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, The Electric Prunes, Werewolves of London, Warren Zevon, Spooky, Dusty Springfield, Hypnotized, Fleetwood Mac, Welcome to My Nightmare, Alice Cooper, and You're Dead by Norma Tanega. So, kind of fun. Pitbull. This week is crazy, I told you. Pitbull Greatest Hits. First time on vinyl, includes the diamond singles Give Me Everything featuring Neo, Afrojack, and Nair, and Timber featuring Kesha. Clear with black swirl color vinyl. So if you've been hankering for some why don't they make more Pitbull on vinyl? Now's your chance. 13th Floor Elevators. Psychedelic. This album presents a facsimile mono edition of the original 1966 album, 13th Floor Elevators Half Speed Master. The psychedelic sounds of, this is not a gatefold, it's just a single sleeve, but anyway, it's kind of cool seeing this on vinyl again, especially Half Speed Master. There are two other, I think Easter Everywhere, and anyway, I think there are a couple other 13th Floor Elevators out this week. But that's what we're sort of focused on. Okay, here, I gotta move here just a little bit. Let's get to Rocktober. Okay. Ugh. Rocktober. Rhino does this every year, and for some reason they decided to slam us with like 30 titles in the first week when there's like a total of 45. So anyway, we got Black Sabbath, the remaster of the first album. This is the one that they were selling online. That's the audiophile version, and online they're numbered. These are not, but they're still gatefold heavy tip on sleeve, same price structure. Yeah, and limited edition. Very nice. If you want, one of people say it's like the best sounding version of this album, or one of them. Now, another thing I found very interesting that they chose to remaster, I'm glad they did it, was Devo, Freedom of Choice. This is the one with Whip It. Also, Girl You Want. Great album. I think what's cool about this too is that they did such a good job like clearing up the cover art. It really is very like the detail in the printing is very impressive actually. And then one other which is sort of not of that series but a double is Monkey's Headquarters. And this is a deluxe 2 LP edition featuring the original classic album mastered from tape, bonus LP of rarities, alternate takes, and more. Notes by Monkey's historian, producer Andrew Sandoval. And this is their third studio record. So, all right, start with those. Let me get another pile here. Oh, good Lord. You almost need to be a weightlifter. Don't say this isn't a physical job at all. Stevie Nicks, her new latest album, In Your Dreams. This was from like 2011. So it's already been like quite a few years since she had a new record out. This one had never been on vinyl before, though. I love this cover. And it was produced by Dave Stewart. How do I remember? Because she put him in the picture. Dave Stewart of Eurythmics. And it's a really good album. Featured For What It's Worth, A Secret Love, Moonlight, A Vampire's Dream, yeah, Secret Love. Those were the singles. Forest Green vinyl. She looks amazing on this cover. I don't know if they've sort of enhanced that or what. They made her look very childlike in a way. But this came out, like I said, 13 years ago. Mike Campbell did some work on here too. So anyway, and she has something coming out on Black Friday Record Store Day. I think it's a new single, 45. Wilco's Summer Teeth. And this is a 25th anniversary edition on opaque electric blue vinyl featuring A Shot in the Arm, Via Chicago, and I'm Always in Love. It's a great, great early Wilco album. Very tuneful, very catchy. A couple of Ministry reissues. Twitch. I mean, what year is it again? I love the fact that these are coming out. And The Land of Rape and Honey. These are double vinyl remastered editions. And Twitch is, I mean, they're two of the most influential albums of the era. Twitch came out in 1986 and Land of Rape in 1988. Their sound changed even sort of a bit between these two records. Twitch was very industrial, kind of heavy hitting, but electronic. And a lot of work by Adrian Sherwood on this record. This includes the original album recut from the master tapes, bonus rare out of print 12-inch mixes, includes Over the Shoulder, We Believe in, Just Like You. This album, extremely influential if you're into like Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that. It's sort of that era. And then Land of Rape and Honey, things started shifting a little bit heavier on the guitars. And so it's kind of like very, again, still sampling, but more industrial and heavier. And this features Stigmata, The Missing, Deity. And this has also more bonus tracks. A remix of Stigmata and Tonight We Murder. So kind of heavy records, but well, for the time. Maybe they would be seen as heavy now. I don't know. It feels like music is sort of in like a transition again, in flux. Couple of great albums of the 80s. Well, at least this one I loved at the time. In Excess X. So this is the one that followed Kick. It's not as big on the hits, but it is a really good album. This features Suicide Blonde, Disappear, and By My Side, back on LP for the first time in 20 years. Limited edition translucent red vinyl. Everyone knows who Suicide Blonde was about, right? Kylie Minogue. And then Full Moon, Dirty Hearts. And of course they were picking her because she was Australian, and so were they. This one, it was a more sort of like they were trying to branch out, and some of it worked and some of it maybe not as much, but it's got Please with Ray Charles. So that does have their Ray Charles duet on it. The Gift was another single from that, so didn't do as well commercially, but it's a good record. So it's nice to see these things on vinyl again, because I know people have been looking for them for a while and they were just not there. This one was actually out on Music on Vinyl, but it's cool to see getting a color pressing. Cure for Pain by Morphine. And this top 10 underrated 90s alt-rock album of all time from Alternative Nation. All Music Guide says unquestionably one of the best and most cutting-edge rock releases of the 90s. Audio remastered from the original source and lacquers cut at Sam Phillips Recording Studio in Memphis. So we get a Morphine reissue. We get 2 records from Tony Iommi. This one just called Fused with Glenn Hughes. And this one, original classic album on vinyl for the first time. 2 LPs, translucent cobalt vinyl, plus 3 bonus tracks. And then we get the Depp sessions, or it's the DEP. Depp. 1996. This is original classic album, limited edition translucent black ice vinyl. This is just 1 record, but features 6 tracks. Ironically, I believe the CDs are kind of the opposite, where this is the less expensive and this is this has more on it, or I don't know. There are CD versions of those too. So the Doobie Brothers, Toulouse Street, gets a reissue on crystal clear vinyl. This one features Listen to the Music, Jesus is Just Alright, and Rockin' Down the Highway. Great album of theirs. And then also, I can never get this title right. What once were vices are now habits. And this is a live record featuring Blackwater. Let's see. I don't know. Tell Me What You Want. You Just Can't Stop It. Produced by Ted Templeman. I think he did most of their work. Great producer. Anyway, couple of Doobie Brothers reissues. This one is also crystal clear vinyl. Excuse me, I'm talking a lot. Whitesnake, David Coverdale. This is whatever year that was, his album. 2024 remix of his 1977 debut pressed on translucent tan vinyl. Features Lady and the original Blind Man, revisited, remixed, and remastered. Produced by Roger Glover. And then we also get this one, Whitesnake, North Winds. And this is a 2024 remix of his 1978 album, pressed on black ice vinyl. Features Time and Again, strings version, Breakdown, and Keep On Giving Me Love, also produced by Roger Glover. So, a couple Whitesnake reissues. Deep Purple, Machine Head, and this is the remix, classic 1972 album, remixed by Dweezil Zappa from the original analog tapes. Features Smoke on the Water. One of their most famous albums, right? I probably don't need to say much more about that. Oh my god, guys. One more stack here. I know this is a long one, right? I told you. Twisted Sister. And this is Stay Hungry, the 40th anniversary edition. 2 LPs on blood red vinyl. So Stay Hungry, a little bit different cover art, newly remastered from original analog tapes. Features We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock, plus 2 non-album bonus tracks, live in San Bernardino, 1984, on vinyl for the first time. Includes extensive liner notes. So, we're not gonna take it. Typo Negative, October Rust. Probably their biggest album, too. Pressed on green and black marble vinyl. And Slow Deep, and you know what? This one's pressed on green and black marble vinyl as well. So, Typo Negative keeps the reissue train going. Stone Temple Pilots, we get Shangri-La Dee Da and Number 4, two of their best sort of mid-later period records. This one features Sour Girl and is on limited edition white opaque and black splatter vinyl. This one features Hollywood Bitch, Too Cool Queenie, and Hello It's Late, neon yellow and neon orange splatter vinyl. So a couple of Stone Temple Pilots. Bush, Golden State record I've never seen on vinyl before. First time on LP. Well, that's why. Featuring the people that we love on translucent golden vinyl. Another sort of that era, Better Than Ezra. This is translucent, or I'm sorry, it's the tan vinyl pressing. Features Desperately Wanting, newly remastered for vinyl on in a printed inner sleeve. Their first album, the one with Good, is coming out on Record Store Day as well. Black Friday. Third Eye Blind's Blue. This is the features a platinum hit. It was a platinum hit on clear and blue splatter vinyl. Features Never Let You Go, Deep Inside of You, and Anything. Very popular record. I mean, it's sort of almost as popular as the first one with Semi-Charmed Life. Jenny Lewis and her album Voyager. This is on translucent sea blue vinyl. All right. Fleetwood Mac, Heroes Are Hard to Find. Weird cover. I always say weird cover. 50th anniversary edition featuring Prove Your Love, Heroes Are Hard to Find, and Angel on white and black splatter clear vinyl. So this is pre-Stevie, pre-Lindsay. This is cool. The Stooges. And this is the John Cale mix of the Stooges album. 1969 debut featuring I Want to Be Your Dog. 1969 and No Fun. This is on transparent red vinyl. Foreigners Head Games, the second Foreigner release today. This is on translucent light blue vinyl. Their 5 times platinum third album from 1979 featuring Dirty White Boy and Head Games. Only a couple more. Montrose, Paper Money. This is I Got the Fire and Space Age Sacrifice on silver vinyl. Second album from 1974. If you're into Sammy Hagar, he's part of that, I believe. And Wapan, English Beat. This was a Record Store Day thing earlier this year. They did as a deluxe 2 LP. This version is limited edition gold nugget vinyl. It's a 1 LP version. And finally, on single, new They Might Be Giant single, Lazy. They have a new full length coming out very shortly. So that's sort of it for everything. Now, excuse me, the Black Friday list was announced yesterday. Go to recordstoreday.com, click on Black Friday, whatever, you'll get to see the list. We don't get absolutely everything on the list, but we do get a lot of the list. So if you have things and you think that you want to let us know what we should be ordering that you're interested in, please don't just puff up our ordering and say you're going to be here and then don't support the store. That's not cool. So take a look and let us know what you are interested there. I had a friend actually who put in like, what's special about Record Store Day as an AI question, and here's what it came up with. It was actually pretty good. It says Record Store Day significantly benefits indie record stores in several ways. Number 1, increased foot traffic. RSD attracts thousands of music enthusiasts to independent record stores, boosting sales and exposure for these local businesses. 2, exclusive releases. RSD offers exclusive titles and limited edition vinyl, making indie stores the go-to destination for rare and unique music. 3. Sales surge. RSD typically generates a significant spike in sales for indie stores, helping to offset slower periods. 4. Community engagement. RSD fosters a sense of community among music lovers, encouraging special interaction and loyalty to local record stores. 5. Marketing and promotion. RSD provides free marketing and promotion for indie stores through its global branding and media coverage. 6. Competitive edge. RSD exclusives give indie stores an edge over larger retailers and online sellers. 7. Support for local music scenes. RSD helps indie stores promote local artists and events, nurturing the local music ecosystem. Overall, Record Store Day celebrates and supports the unique culture and contribution of independent record stores. I'd say that's pretty accurate. For an AI answer, I'm like, wow, that's not bad. So that's kind of what it is. But, the list came out, and I already had a few people who were like, a little bit negative about, I only see this, I only want this, there's only one thing for me. I get that. Maybe you don't, there's not more for you, whatever. But, this is also about supporting the stores, and, so maybe you don't see something on the list. This is why today I have mountains of stuff to show, because there's stuff coming out all the time. So find a way to support the store. It doesn't necessarily have to be through the list. If you're upset about things not being more to your taste, whatever, maybe that opens a door to you getting interested in something else. So what I'm saying is, don't limit yourself so much to be like, if it's not on the list, I'm not interested in you guys. You have nothing to offer for me. Like, and I know many of you are very supportive in many ways. So I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, like, find a way to support the store if you can, even if it's not on Record Store Day or Black Friday Record Store Day. Go look at the list. If there's not something there, come out and just support the store. Find something, a $5 item, it doesn't even have to be major. But we do like that. And it could be, maybe it's not even that day. Maybe it's sometime around that time. So anyway, I'm running long. I knew this was going to be a long video, so I got to get the store open. It's already past time. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. Tons of records for y'all. Tons. So please help us out, because we want to make Black Friday work for everybody. And if we don't get the financial support to lead up to that, it may not happen. So, you got to keep supporting the stores when it's not Black Friday too, or when it's not Record Store Day. All right. Here's my little preach session for the week. I don't have a recommends because this was such a long video. We're working towards an hour here. So hopefully you're not asleep. If you are, you can always rewind this and watch it from whatever point you want. So thanks. Have a great weekend. Get out and buy some records. There's so much stuff. Okay. Take care. Thanks again.